Hey, Eric, I'll get Bob to get some to come down. You get
And we are back live from the Multnomah Athletic Club in Portland, Oregon. Round of 16 for the Waterford Crystal 2009 World Handball Championships, brought to you by the United States Handball Association, sanctioned by the World Handball Council, and streaming live over your computer by the World Players of Handball, the WPH, and your nifty TV video screen that you see there. My name is Dave Vincent, alongside Jeff Kastner in the filming booth and broadcast partner David Fink, as we get ready for this round of 16 match between David Chapman from Welding Spring, Missouri, suburb of St. Louis, and Michael Gregan, who lives in Cool Boy, County Wicklow, Ireland. Referee is Eric Hilgren. As we get ready for this match, Dave, contrasting styles, we've got the get artist. He seems to run everything down, Michael Gregan, up against the methodical Dave Chapman.
This will be an experience for Michael.
First game, 0-7-0.
Dave Chapman immediately going to that lob serve.
Dave with two quick skips.
1-7-0.
1-0. That sound that you hear from the court sound that sounded like that ball broke was really the ball hitting that glass on the front wall. That's why it had a different sound. 0 serves 1. This is the first game.
Dave already with 3 quick airs here.
1-7-0.
The name of the town that Michael Gregan lives in is called Cool Boy. Just somewhat near Kilkenny, where Duxie Walsh plays. Those two get a spar every now and then, and sometimes Tony Healy will make the trip up from Cork and play the top players there.
There's a left-hand kill from Dave off the back wall. That, along with his dump shot, is the strength of his game. Anything off the back wall is likely to be the end of the point. There we see a nice fist kill there from Dave. The ball comes off the right side wall, and Dave puts it into that left corner.
1 serves 1. setup, Dave.
Dave actually guessing wrong there. Had to take a chance.
Well, it looked like Michael set up to hit that left side wall first before the front wall. I think that's what Dave thought was going to happen. Mike went front wall first. One serves one very early on, men's round of 16.
These two actually never have played. So maybe a little bit of a feeling out process.
I witnessed Michael Gregan on camera playing Tony Healy just about a year ago, losing 21-20 in a game. So he has the ability to play top players. It's a nice shot right there.
Very nice, about chest high. Takes up all his right hand and kills it.
One serves one. That's a point. I thought that was over the line. Good. Referee, the side judge actually agrees with it. I disagree with this, Dave. It was an ace serve, so it should be a point.
You think so?
He did not call a short serve. He said that he called it short, but he did not call it short.
Well,
he might have thought about it.
Dave didn't make a move for that ball, so it should have been a point.
Wow, that's amazing. We all try it. We never can do it just like that. It's an amazing shot right there. We all try to do that shot. It just never turns out to look like that.
Michael's showing nice variety here. Michael's played extremely well with his left hand defensively early in this first game. It's incredible, Dave, as we watch this match following the Emmett Peixoto and John Iglesias match. The pace of play so much different, so much more deliberate thus far in this match.
Score is 2-1. First game, Michael Gregan's up.
It's actually a shot that Dave invented, taking that ball with your right hand. We see a lot of players do that now.
That's a good serve right there, Dave. That's what Michael Gregan's known for right there, his get ability. And he was right there on that one too. He's got Emmett Peixoto quickness. He's got Dave Chapman type of hands on defense, not necessarily offense. Two serves two.
We've been playing for over 5 minutes, still just 2-2. So that's a setup. This is Dave's first tournament on this court since winning his last four-wall national title in 2004.
A 29-year-old Dave Chapman at that time. Now he's 34. Three serves two. Oh, that's a good serve, Dave.
That's when Dave's most dangerous. When he hits the floor, he's going for the kill. He makes it the vast majority of the time.
Four serves two. This serve seems like he's honing in on it. That one he left out.
Looked like that serve was short. He's appealing the serve. I saw the serve short.
I called the serve good.
See, this is where I feel that there's a problem here with the line judges not necessarily hearing.
5, serving 2.
That's tough back there. I was telling you before, that back left wall, sometimes you see a shadow coming off that wall before you actually see the ball coming off the wall. It's kind of tough because of the strange way that the shadows work. John Bike said you just aim for the one in the middle.
Isn't that what Paulie told Rocky?
Yeah. Are you saying that John plagiarized that, that line there? Possibly.
Well, Paulie's a brilliant man, so you can't blame him if he did.
7 serves 2. Oh, he went for it. Inside out. Didn't get it. The crowd would have probably erupted a little bit more than you hear him chattering now. Dave was trying to dump that in that right corner. We've seen him do it so many times successfully, Mr. Fink. 2 serve 7.
Not sure what kind of serve that was from Michael. There's a miss hit there from Dave.
3 serve 7.
You don't want to use a serve that continues to put you in that back left corner, up off your feet. That's what's happened to Michael here in his last 2 serves.
7 serves 3.
He put that ball on a tee for Dave, and Dave put it right in that back left corner.
Nice return for Michael GREGAN, and he actually deserves that round of applause too.
3, serving 7.
3 to 7. Referee is Eric Hilgren, Springfield, Missouri.
There's that paddle kill in that left corner for Dave. Michael going for his kill with his left. That ball stayed up just enough for Dave to put that ball away in that left corner.
7 serves 3. That's short. Good call. Dave's going to go to his traditional second serve here, the soft version of that.
Is he hitting that with the back of his hand or the back of his fist?
It looked like a back of his fist, like he punched it. 3 serves 7, first game, round of 16. Michael GREGAN serving to Dave Chapman.
We see Dave's dad up in that referee's booth to get a good view of the action.
Saw Dave Chapman successfully inside out that one as if to tell the crowd I can do it, but then it wasn't successful. 4 serve 7. Multnomah Athletic Club in Portland, Oregon. We're watching the World Handball Championships brought to you by Waterford Crystal, the World Handball Council, United States Handball Association. Streaming live on your computer.
Doesn't really hit that cross-court lob high enough to put any degree of difficulty on that return for Dave.
Nice shot. Look how GREGAN anticipated that, Dave. He totally anticipated that shot.
Tremendous anticipation. He was moving to the right before Dave even made contact with that ball. He knew Dave was going in that left corner. I think a lot of that comes from studying tape of Dave Chapman, Dave. Michael has all the DVDs, many of them featuring Dave Chapman.
There it is.
Dave really in junk time mode.
He's standing too close to the front wall, I believe, for that ball to be too effective, unless he was trying to let it slide down that wall, which he sometimes will do that one too, but you knew it was coming, even though you didn't think it was the right shot to take.
Nice fist kill there from Michael. Had success with that power serve off that left side wall.
6 serve 7. It's a short ball. No call from the ref there. Must have been so obvious.
He did call it short. You see a lot of players will flip that ball into the back wall. Bring it back to the front wall. Michael.
And he got it. Dave return kills it though. Michael Craig got his 4th flip around, or whatever you want to call that thing, and then Dave Chapman dove in and re-killed it. That's great anticipation from Dave Chapman, who could have easily let that ball go. I mean, only us sitting here on the front wall, Dave, able to know that that ball was going to make it, and Dave was right on it.
That's Dave expecting the unexpected there. Dave expects that ball to make the front wall, and a lot of guys would have given up on it. Michael's ball was almost a Bose type of shot as they hit in squash, where it hits the sidewall, and the front wall. Dave read the spin on that ball and dove in perfectly.
The score is 7 serve 6.
Michael got caught a little flat-footed there. That's the first time we've seen that happen. I think he was looking for a different shot.
8 serve 6.
Tremendous wheels to pick up that first ball from Michael, but Dave has him up against that right side wall and takes charge. Blasts that winner down the left side wall.
Michael's playing really close to Dave Chapman here.
Hit that ball a little bit low on his hand there, towards his palm. Michael calls a timeout. Michael's a very slender young man.
Score from the referee, I believe, is 10-6 during this timeout here. Waterford Crystal 2009 World Handball Championships from the Multnomah Athletic Club in the Great Pacific Northwest, Portland, Oregon. Alongside broadcast partner Dave Fink. My name is Dave Vincent. Thank you for tuning in. This live feed coming through your computer, courtesy of the WPH and private funds that they solicited, WePlayHandball.com and your nifty television player. But of course, the event sanctioned by the World Handball Council and the United States Handball Association. If you are one of those that want to support these games in retrospect, then you might truly consider becoming a member of the United States Handball Association by going to their web store or going to www.wphpass.com and getting your membership for the WPH. Support both. And definitely do go and check out the World Handball Council and see if you can become a member there too. I'm just not quite confident you can join, but maybe you can. And
it's a big setup for Dave. Dave with a rare mistake there off the back wall. Tried to put that ball in the left corner from the middle of the court. That ball pop up a lot of the time.
6 serve 10. You're right, Dave normally just goes straight after himself in positions like that. Hits the ball back at his feet.
I sense Dave's concentration just a little bit off here. Dave, it doesn't seem like he's quite as focused as we usually see him in a huge match like this.
Bad bounce call there. 6 serves 10. This is the first game. Ball short. I think even Eric, did Eric call a short ball? Second serve.
Like Dave was going to go back to the ceiling there. It actually would have been the right shot because he had Michael on his heels.
7 serving 10.
7 serves 10. That was like Dave Chapman trying to do a Duxie Walsh impersonation or something with that underhand dump shot, but it didn't work for him.
Well, that was actually a fist. That's his shot. You'll see him hit quite a bit.
What's going on with Dave Chapman right now? 7 serves 10.
Dave not looking fully engaged into this match right now. Michael can sense that. This is where he really needs to take advantage. Dave a little bit out of sorts.
8 serving 10.
8 serves 10. Dave looking down to see if there's a spot on the floor, and if there is, he's going to take a towel timeout. There he is. That gives Dave a couple extra minutes to breathe.
Dave wearing his loafers today on the court.
Now tell me about that. Recently people have been bringing up the fact that he's going in with his street shoes. I mean, what he calls the street shoes, that is. That's not his normal workout shoes. Why is he doing that in a round of 16?
Really?
That's not the shoes that he wore in the one-wall finals. It's the same flooring.
I really don't have a good answer for you.
I mean, he got those shined at the airport.
It is tough to get a locker here. He might have wanted to save some space in his bag.
Wow, that's the first one of those that Michael's swung and missed on. Listen for the score here from Eric Hilgren. 11-8. Dave changing up his serve here. You see, when Dave Chapman plays, he doesn't even talk to his opponent.
Well, what is there to say to your opponent?
I like your shoes.
Touche.
Maybe not in this scenario. Not a touche.
Touche.
Maybe so.
Michael gets his hand on everything. Surprised we don't see him execute the back wall, front wall shot.
I agree. He could have done it on that last one.
Much more difficult to hit that ball around your body when the ball is behind you than it is to flip that ball into that back wall.
12 serves 8 here. Where'd that thing come from? It's like a stiletto.
Serving 12.
8-12. Up, double bounce before the back wall. Nice serve.
Unusual to see Dave misjudge a ball that badly. Thought that ball was going to pop off the back wall, and he was looking to wrap that ball.
I believe that ball would have just been 2 inches up off the back wall. I think Dave could have pulled it out.
Well,
They had the right spin to come back up. It just seems to me that Michael GREGAN is fooling Dave just a little bit on certain shots where you see Dave's not, I think, respecting what Michael can do out there.
Michael's playing an excellent match here thus far.
12-9, first game.
He's played good defense when he's had to. He's made a lot of great gets. He's also executed some nice kills.
I'm surprised that that thing's even on that wall over there. There's a piece of, they're trying to cover up names that are up on that banner up there, and every ball that comes over there hits that.
Very surprising.
I'd like to see what's underneath that piece of paper. I think that's where old Eddie Dufresne got out of the state prison there. Shawshank Redemption.
He made a pretty good life for himself.
You're watching the World Handball Championships of 2009, brought to you by Waterford Crystal, World Handball Council, United States Handball Association, streaming live on your computer. Brought to you by the WPH and Nifty TV, WePlayHandball.com. Dave Chapman, round of 16 versus Michael GREGAN. Michael lives in Coolboy, County Wicklow in Ireland, just down the street from where the legendary Duxie Walsh plays out of in Kilkenny. Dave Chapman from Weldon Spring, Missouri, just a suburb of St. Louis, Missouri. 9 serves 12. Nice shot right there.
Very well played there from Michael.
10-12.
Michael with a very impressive victory yesterday over Minnesota's Andy Nett, beating Andy handily. A lot of people, myself included, Dave, thought that would be a tight match. It wasn't. I think we're seeing that Michael GREGAN is playing some excellent handball here.
During the next timeout, let's run down all of the top players that are watching this match right here.
Why wait?
Well, let's look down. We see Paul Brady, Brian Carroll. Over here we have Alan Garner, Mike Finnegan. We had Emmett Peixote, Tyler Hamill.
Desi Keegan.
Desi Keegan is here. Tony Healy, I saw him, but I can't look at him now. Anna Engel is sitting there. Jennifer Hinman. But the men players that are getting ready to watch all of the action out here, they're coming out to watch Dave Chapman to see how well he is doing. Top handball players, Dave Fink, you're sitting here. Aaron Garner, who played you quite well the other night in the round of 32. Took you to a tiebreaker, 11-8. He's sitting here.
He's an up-and-coming great pro player.
It's nice to see the top players sitting out here courtside. I saw Charlie Shanks walking by, but I don't see him now. Duxie Walsh sitting in the front row. This is truly the Handball Championships. 12-10 is the score for Dave Chapman. 12-10 if you're at home keeping score. All the celebrities watching courtside. This area, Dave, they say seats 200 people, but then you look around and you see a whole bunch standing, and I would assume that's just about 300 to 400 people in the show court. And for a round of 16, have you ever seen anything like this?
This is impressive. We saw over 500 people watching some of those one-wall matches in the last couple of days up in those made for the World Championship one-wall courts in the upstairs of the Multnomah Athletic Club. Certainly, Dave, many of the 981 entrants here at this event came to watch the top players. This is a great treat. We have 12 countries represented here, including Australia and England, Ireland, obviously, and Canada.
Mexico, the Cordoba kids are here from Mexico and their family. And I believe we have a participant from New Zealand and Japan. And I know that there was a bloke from Liverpool that's here with his family. ready for this timeout to conclude?
This has been an extremely long break here. I don't know who that benefits. Michael seems pretty fresh in there, Dave. You know, a lot of guys can come in great shape in a big match like this, but that adrenaline and all those nerves can really knock the wind out of you midway through that first game. And haven't seen that yet with Michael. Michael's been hanging with Dave here throughout this first game. We haven't seen a lead more than 3 points here for Dave. Very tight here in the middle of this first game. We'll listen in here for the score from Nebraska's E. Hill, Eric Hilgren.
This 2-minute glove change timeout has turned into a 5-minuter.
12, serving 12.
12 to 12 now.
Second serve.
As we look through that audience, I see Lisa Frazier-Gilmore, Courtney Pachot. All the top players are watching this, Dave.
Dave just not sharp. The balls that we're used to seeing him put away at will, he's leaving these balls up.
12, serving 12.
12 serves 12. That's an example right there, Dave.
Serving 12.
I certainly don't think it's a question of Dave's fitness right now. He's just a little bit off for whatever reason. To me, it looks like the strongest part of Dave's game is actually off, and that's his mental game. It seems to me that he's having a hard time focusing, and we certainly don't want to take any credit away from Michael GREGAN, who's playing an excellent match.
That was a long ball that Michael GREGAN cut off. Yeah, I think you're right with that. I'm actually sharing a hotel with Dave Chapman. I've been able to talk to him every single day, and you know, he backed out of the doubles because he wanted to save his legs for the singles, but then all of a sudden the opportunity to play with Joe Kaplan in one wall came up, and he made it to the finals. He only played 2 matches, but both went to tiebreakers, and he said yesterday that it took everything out of him. He wanted to win that, and his legs are really sore, so I think it backfired going into the one wall. He said his conditioning is not that good, and he said his legs are really weary right now. And Michael's been keeping the rallies alive, digging everything out, Dave. There's that shot.
It's a very tough opponent here for Dave if his legs are indeed weary. This is a guy that's a road runner. Much unlike yourself, Dave Vincent. Dave actually is going to have to rely on his pass shots here because he's having a hard time keeping the ball down.
14, serving 13.
Score is 14 to 13.
Michael actually holding his first lead there. Briefly. Dave now back in the lead at 14-13. There's a big mistake there from Michael. Let's listen in here, Dave.
What's going on here is I can't repeat what Dave is actually saying here. Dave is claiming that Mike said something in the middle of Dave's backswing. Of course, I'm not going to repeat what Dave thought that word was.
The Irish don't come here to kiss Dave Chapman's World Championship trophies. They're here to win. Michael not backing down at all.
No, he wasn't. That's telling
Far
you
from
something. Tells you something, doesn't it? And now he's going to get the crowd on his side here, and that's the last thing Dave wants.
This could be dangerous for Dave.
Tell you how confident Michael GREGAN is. He was telling Dave, go back and sit and get in the retrieving spot, get out of here.
He looked him right in the eye and told him that too.
He told him more than once.
We'll see if Michael can take this momentum, use it to his advantage.
Wow.
That's often the best play, Dave, when you're playing a guy that's as quick as Michael, is to drive the ball behind him. He's moving to his right. Dave executes that pass behind him with a hop on it. It's a nice pickup. Great pass shot there from Dave. We saw Dave go into that two-wall serve. That's the first time we've seen him hit it with that pace. Michael did not handle that serve well.
15 serves 14 is the score here.
There it is again. And that's pretty much the same return.
Wow, nice shot from Michael GREGAN. The crowd loves it too. How does it feel to know sometimes when the crowd's not behind you like you once thought they were? Crowd loves the underdog. 14 serves 15. Correct?
That's a good call there from Eric. That's only Michael's second foot fault. He's called them both. It can be very, very difficult when that crowd turns on you, particularly, Dave, when you know you're not playing your best. Michael just misses that ball. There was fractions of an inch between the floor and the front wall where that ball misses.
15 serves 14.
Dave with a miss hit there. Very rare to see Dave miss hit the ball off the back wall. He got just enough of it, though, to end that rally.
16 serves 14 here, first game. Dave Chapman once told me that he learned how to win when his A game wasn't around, so he went to his B game, and that's the difference between him and a lot of other players, is that his B game is sometimes will actually bring him wins. He said he won a couple national championships with his B game in the finals. This is what you would call Dave's B game right here.
Michael with a mistake there. Tried to let that ceiling shot come off the back wall. It was too low. Dave Chapman is the master of the mental game. Since that blow up between these two players, we haven't seen Michael GREGAN score. Now he takes a timeout.
Listening to the score from the referees, 17-14, I believe, is the call on this. You're watching the World Championships here in 2009. Great Pacific Northwest, Multnomah Athletic Club, brought to you by Waterford Crystal, World Handball Council, United States Handball Association. My name is Dave Vincent, alongside David Fink. Earlier today was Paul Brady moving on to the quarterfinals with his win. Charlie Shanks, Robbie McCarthy, and Emmett Peixote all going after it in the upper bracket. That puts Brady versus Shanks in the quarterfinals and Robbie McCarthy versus Emmett Peixote in the upper bracket quarterfinals. Now we're doing the upper side of the lower bracket round of 16 with Dave Chapman versus Michael GREGAN. First game, 18-14, I believe is the score here, as Michael took a 60-second timeout.
Michael actually outplaying Dave there for a period there in the middle of the first game. Dave has regained the momentum.
Wow. Now the crowd's back. It only takes one shot for the crowd to be on Mike's side.
Serving 18.
14 serves 18.
That's a nice shot there from Michael. There's 3 consecutive wraparound shots. Here's the setup. He converts it. Very effective shot with that left hand into that dark left corner here.
15, serving 18.
15 serves 18, first game. That could be appealed, and it is.
You know, Dave, so much of that retrievability comes from early recognition of the ball, and when you lose it for that split second going into that glass, you lose that first step. That's the 4th dump that we've seen Dave miss from right around the short line.
Serving 18.
16 serves 18.
You see Michael having to stay down there.
Looked like he might have stayed down a little too long, though. He could have jumped up at point of impact, but
I don't think so. I think he was down.
18, serving 16.
18 serves 16. Dave doesn't say anything. Looks like Michael's crowding. This gallery is packed, one of the premier show courts in all of handball. Dave still not saying anything. He wanted to, though, didn't he?
Dave made a little grimace. He's definitely frustrated. I think both those shots potentially game or point ending shots. Oh,
wow. That is
indecision there from Michael.
That's a tough serve, though. Dave put a little extra juice on that. Mike's been seeing that softer version of that, and then all of a sudden Dave comes out with that 10, 20 miles an hour, a little bit sharper, lower.
Wow. As you get a little bit tight, your feet stop working just a little bit. That's what happened there. And there's another poor return. Fortunate that that ball stays off the back wall.
Between the legs, Michael GREGAN. Dave guided that one in that time. He didn't go into junk time, he just guided it. He knows that he missed the last 4 of those, Dave.
20, serving 16.
Possible game point, serve 16 now. I think Dave Chapman found his second game's #1 serve.
20, serving 16.
That was actually a fist into the right side wall.
That's a nice shot right there.
Dave fortunate to catch the ceiling there.
There it is. Dave Chapman takes game number 1, 21-16. We have game number 2, Dave Chapman versus Michael GREGAN, coming up in just a few. It's the Waterford Crystal 2009 World Handball Championships from the Multnomah Athletic Club. For Dave Fink and Jeff Castor, my name is Dave Vincent. We'll be back in just a few. You stay here. WePlayHandball.com. And we are back live from the Multnomah Athletic Club in Portland, Oregon. My name is Dave Vincent. Game number 2, alongside broadcast partner Dave Fink for the World Handball Championships. First one is a short ball. Michael GREGAN versus Dave Chapman. The World Handball Championships here in Portland, Oregon. First game saw Dave Chapman winning 21-16. See what Dave Chapman comes out in game number 2 here.
It has to be very deflating for the man from Ireland here. Played very even with Dave up until the last 6 points.
Well, it's good, you know, to see that Dave Chapman's consistent from game 1 to game 2, starting off both games with that fish shot into the ground.
Michael actually led 14-13 in that first game, ended up losing at 21-16. Dave with a nice soft paddle kill into that front wall, right side wall.
0 serves 1.
That can do some damage to your fingers right there. Believe me, I've done it playing Dave Chapman. Jamming your finger into that left side wall, it's easy to do, particularly into this glass where you can't judge quite as well. And there's 2 in a row, but Dave slides right down that left side wall on the lob serve.
2 serves 1.
Dave looked like he thought he might be playing one wall right there.
Held his ground, didn't move his feet at all. 2-1.
Looked like he faked it. He thought that ball was going to go straight down the left side wall. Hit about a foot up high off that left side wall. Dave Chapman not unhappy with Michael killing that ball with his left hand off the back wall on that lob serve.
1 serves 2.
We've seen vintage Dave Chapman defense, and we've seen sporadic and inconsistent offense from Dave thus far in this match.
2 serves 1, second game. Dave wins the first one, 21-16. Dave from Weldon Spring, Missouri.
There's 2 in a row, flat kills from Michael GREGAN. From Cool Spot.
From Cool Boy,
Cool Boy.
Wicklow County, Ireland.
I apologize to those from Cool Boy who are tuning in.
Cool spot might be good enough, though.
Well, it's a cool spot from what I've heard, so.
Very beautiful there. Two serves one.
Surprised, David, we don't see Dave Chapman sticking with that two-wall serve that we saw at the end of the first game. He had good success with it. That's a tough ball to take out of the air with your offhand. That ball is sliding down that left side wall. Very difficult to make good contact. And we saw Michael hit that ball.
Second serve.
Well played here from Michael GREGAN here this rally, Dave. Oh, and he misses the easiest shot he's had all match. He really had Dave moving from side to side there. Started off with that. It started with that paddle left-handed shot down the left side wall. It had Dave moving side to side.
Count that as a miss. Oh, and he makes it up there. Just squelches in with the left hand.
Very lucky shot there for Michael.
Look at that get. Amazing, Dave. I hope those at home and those here in the gallery appreciate what they're seeing from Michael GREGAN. Just letting these players take over right here.
We're seeing more mental warfare from Dave Chapman. Certainly not endearing himself to the hundreds of Irish here in the crowd.
That's a good call from the referee there. I think Dave Chapman just has a command of the rule book, and he knows a little bit more than most of the players. Obviously, he knows more than Eric Hildren there. And Dave's just saying it's an automatic avoidable, even if you don't mean to do it, but you cannot push off to give yourself an advantage.
Well, I think what Eric was saying was that he didn't intentionally push off. He was going for the ball. And Dave happened to be in his path.
How do you determine what is on purpose and what's not? You can just see the final action.
Well,
Dave said it helped him get to the other part of the court, right?
That's no different than calling a hinder. Eric's opinion was that it wasn't intentional.
But I don't understand this thing about what's going on since the return of Dave Chapman, where he feels like he can get confrontational with the actual players. You know, if it was unintentional, as he says, then why is he getting in the face of Michael GREGAN?
We've seen Dave confrontational with his opponent, the fans, and also the referee. I'm waiting for him to come after us up here in the booth. We're the last innocent victims here.
Well, we've seen the line judges take a fair amount of beating.
There's the third ace this game on that lob serve down that left side wall.
6 serves 2 is the score. Second game, Dave won the first one, 21-16.
It's interesting, Dave does not hold a grudge after being in the face of who's ever experiencing his wrath. It's over with.
Right.
1 point later.
It's almost as if to say he does that to either give himself some time to breathe, or he's just getting into the head of the ref or his opponent. I don't know, but it's completely over with. Like you said, he does it and then he's in and out. Now it's as if a whole different guy is standing out there. You're watching the 2009 Waterford Crystal World Handball Championships, brought to you by the World Handball Council.
Dave has that ability to compartmentalize these incidents. I'm not so sure his opponents can. Who's to say Michael is not still thinking about that? He hasn't scored since.
Well, it seemed like Michael handled Dave pretty well in the first game, that mental edge. Look at that shot. Where'd that come from?
You see that, but you also see the momentum shift each time Dave has one of his blow-ups.
I agree.
You see Michael not back down, but then you also see him losing a number of points following the blow-up.
That's
and there's
true.
a terrible serve there from Michael. He's quickly out of the box. Dave drives that ball at his feet with a big hop on it.
I've never seen more people in my life in this facility right here, Dave. 6 serves 3, and if our webcast booth wasn't sitting here, there'd be another 30 or 40 trying to steal some space to watch this.
You're not that big, Dave.
I need to give myself less credit.
We're actually up here in the luxury suite.
Oh, look at that shot. Does Mike have the patent on that shot, Dave? And that one? That's a point for Dave Chapman. This is game number 2. Dave won the first one, 21-16. The one coming up after this one is going to keep the fans in the stands with Owen Kennedy and Alan Garner. 7-3.
There's the third flat kill from the left hand of Michael GREGAN here in this second game off of Dave's lob serve. That ball coming just about a foot off the back wall.
3 serve 7.
Surprising that Michael doesn't flip that ball in the back wall. I wasn't sure that he had that shot, and we did see him execute it once in that first game.
7-3. It's almost like a Michael GREGAN, sort of like Dan the Han Armijo or something. You know, just gets to balls that are just absolutely crazy. 3 serve 7 here.
Well played rally there from Michael.
4, serving 7.
Not so sure that's the right shot there from Dave on that return of serve to take it with his right hand. Puts himself in an awkward spot, makes it virtually impossible to do anything with that ball. There's a nice serve there from Michael. like a bad bounce. Beautiful rally there.
Those last 4 shots were played above the front line up there, only in about 15-foot space. 7 serves 5.
Dave felt Michael trying to creep over there to the right, anticipating that kill down the right. Dave put that ball behind him. Looked like that serve might have been short.
Timeout call for Michael GREGAN. 9-5 is the score when they get back in after a couple minutes here, or a minute timeout. It's the Waterford Crystal 2009 World Handball Championships, brought to you by the World Handball Council, the United States Handball Association, live from the Multnomah Athletic Club here, Portland, Oregon. My name is Dave Vincent, sitting beside David Fink. And the crowd is absolutely packed here, Dave. Now, you were here in 2004 to watch the Nationals, no? You saw a video? Heard? Do you have any friends that talked about it?
I have a couple of friends, and one of them did
mention how many people showed up. I was here standing in this exact same spot trying to watch Dave Chapman play Tony Healy. I can recall it. And I remember it being absolutely packed, but nothing like this. This is game number 2. Dave Chapman won the very first one, 21-16. 9 serves 5. Eric Hilgren just told us, the referee, that it did not work. We talked about the scoreboard. That ball actually double bounced before Michael got to it. Might even hit a wrist. 10-5 score here. Dave's changing his serve.
This is what Dave can do so quickly. You feel like you're in the match and he scores 4 or 5 points quickly. You find yourself in a 5-point deficit. Dave just slows down his arm just enough to put that ball down, soft enough so that the ball bounces twice before it gets to Michael.
11 serves 5. I like this serve from Dave right here.
Almost like what we saw Emmett doing in the previous match, serving that lob serve more from the middle of the court. Michael with his 4th rollout with his left hand on that lob serve this game.
This is 5 serves 11. Game number 2. Dave Chapman won the first one.
That's a broken ball. Dave actually telling me he's never broken a ball before.
Dave Chapman knew it was broke, but
He
Mike
did
Finnegan,
break that ball with
Mike
that.
GREGAN didn't know. So you're saying that Dave Chapman said he's never broke a ball before?
I actually just saw Dave break the ball with that right fist pass down the left. That was the shot it broke on. Now you see Dave chatting with Michael as if they're good buddies, yet 5 minutes ago it was a totally different story.
You push me, I'm going to push you. Another short ball, 5-11, game number 2. Dave's going to get this.
We'll see how much this takes out of Dave this rally. Skips that ball.
We have Paul Brady, Tony Healy, Emmett Pichotte, Alan Garner, yourself, Dave Fink, Charlie Shanks, Desi Keegan. The only person I don't see out here is Luis Moreno. But the top pros are watching this. Paul Brady sitting right in the front row alongside Duxie Walsh watching this one. Six serves 11.
We'll see how pivotal that last miss from Dave Chapman was. That ball comes off that right side wall with so much spin because he drives that ball into the left corner. And that ball just really shoots off that right side wall, nearly unplayable. You really have to anticipate that bounce. You can definitely hear the difference and see the difference with that new ball, Dave. That's not Michael's shot right there. Looked like he was trying a fist fly corner kill into that left corner.
12 serve 6. That's a good return. I'll tell you what surprises me about GREGAN that I didn't realize. I've watched him play a lot of times. He has a really good left hand. There he is, closing it out with an underhand left-hand shot.
Michael with a nice burst to get to that ball. When he got there, he executed the kill.
6 serves 12.
Nice kill there from Dave. You don't see Dave hit too many sidearm kills off the bounce. You'll see him hit a lot off the back wall, but usually executes his kill with a, let's listen here for the
This
appeal.
actually was a good ball. This wasn't
I thought
short.
that was short.
I thought it was good by 2 inches, and I pretty much bet my life on it.
Second serve. Well, it looks like you'll be taking the plunge.
Already been planning it, so one step ahead of you. Not so much, but actually so much.
So you're there.
I'm still there. I haven't left yet.
Oh, you're staying there then?
Yes.
I don't want to say it's not a pretty swing, but it's somewhat awkward looking, but it's very effective. That
7 serves 12.
Michael GREGAN left hand.
Dave's hopping around in there. The guy
That's a smart shot there from Michael. Mistake there from Dave.
Eric Hilgren called that a down ball.
Michael not arguing. That looked like it was going to hit about 10 feet high off the front wall. What are we missing up here, Dave?
I don't know. I think our angle's so strange here that we're just. But
It
then again,
sounded like a well-hit shot.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why that happened. But I think our angle's just strange. I don't think we've.
That's a great shot there. What a get.
That's frustrating.
Michael putting a lot of pressure on Dave with his left-handed back wall game, which has been superior.
The score is 7-12 when they get back in here. Michael GREGAN serving. Mike loses the first one, 21-16.
There's another great left-handed kill there from Michael. And you have to think Dave might be having a hard time reading that left-hand kill. I certainly can't.
Serving 12.
8 serves 12, second serve, second game.
Another kill there from Michael. Surprised Dave is sticking with that lob serve. It's been very ineffective here. You know, Dave does have that power serve that we've seen him use from time to time. Haven't seen him use it yet in this match.
We usually see him use about 6 different serves.
There's a big setup for Michael. Does not let that ball drop it.
Wow.
Sloppy rally here. And Dave wins it with a punch pass down the left wall.
Eight.
12 serves 8. Game number 2. Oh, I like that.
That could have been the greatest shot in the history of the game.
I've seen that twice.
A behind the back wall to front wall attempt. Came up a little short.
Serves 13.
Dave got what he wanted there. Engaged Michael in a ceiling rally, which is certainly one of the strengths of his game, and got the back wall set up. Unfortunately for Dave, that ball ran down that left side wall.
9 serves 13.
Tremendous shot there from Dave Chapman. It looked like Michael killed that ball with his left hand off the back wall. Dave reaching out with his right fist, putting it in the left corner.
13 serves 9. That's the first time we've seen Dave Chapman roll out a ball like that off the back wall. Everything he's been leaving is up, but
even that wasn't a rollout. That was more of a pass with a reverse on it. I think Dave's comfortable with Michael shooting that ball with his left hand from 37 feet with Dave in the server's box. If that ball's not rolled out flat, Dave's going to be able to execute that re-kill.
15-9. I think Dave sticks with the serve, Mr. Fink, because he might be gearing up for later rounds. Trying to hone in on it, maybe.
Maybe saving his arm also.
It's going to be 16-9 will be the score when these guys get back from a 60-second timeout induced by Mike Gregan from Coolboy, County Wicklow in Ireland. Dave Chapman living in the suburb of St. Louis in a town called Welding Spring, but we all know that he lives anywhere USA these days as he tours around and does the handball clinics and the camps, mainly staying in Vegas, where he says, hey, you can get $39 one-way flights out of Vegas. So he just stays there and then flies out to different locations. In fact, he flew to Vegas before coming here just because the flights are so cheap. And I guess Dave Chapman found a little system with the airlines. He said, no matter where I'm at, I fly to Vegas and then I fly to the next location because they have cheap tickets in and out. It's Dave Chapman, Multnomah Athletic Club, where we have this show court with all the action today. Round of 16 as we make our way toward the quarterfinals. The upper bracket quarterfinal matches, Paul Brady versus Charlie Shanks tomorrow, Robbie McCarthy versus Emmett Peixote tomorrow. This is the upper portion of the lower bracket. First game, we have 3 more after this one today.
16 serving 9 here, Dave. Dave Chapman, 5 points from a quarterfinal berth. Make that 4.
Put a little extra oomph into that one.
Very sexy matchup tomorrow, Dave. Dave Chapman will be playing the winner. Well, should Dave Chapman score the next 4 points. The winner of the Monument versus the Bombshell. The Monument being the Irish landmark. The living legend, Owen Kennedy, who's doing battle with the Dreamboat.
I don't know which one I'd rather be, actually. The Monument or the Bombshell.
Both are institutions in their respective countries.
Michael Gregan unable to make an offensive shot. He's going to go for one here, though.
Hit that. Dave overpowering Michael right now.
Sidearm fish shots. Nineteen serves 9 is the score. Second game, Dave Chapman won the first one, 21-16. I'd like to say you're watching a different Dave Chapman here, but I think you're really watching a different Michael Gregan here.
I think you're watching a weary Michael Gregan. Looks like he maybe lost his legs just a little bit.
20, serving 9.
This is possible game and match. Serves 9.
Does look like he's found something with that lob serve. He's been able to keep the last 3 or 4 off the back wall. That's a beautiful shot there from Dave.
There
That's
it is.
Dave Chapman not his best performance, but good enough to advance. He'll be in the quarterfinals awaiting the winner of our next matchup. Alan the Blonde Bombshell, the Dreamboat, the American Dream. taking on Ireland's institution, the Monument, Owen Kennedy.
We're going to have that match coming up right around the corner. You're watching the 2009 Waterford Crystal World Handball Championships from the Multnomah Athletic Club, as brought to you by the World Handball Council, United States Handball Association, and streaming live over your computers by the World Players of Handball, online live at WePlayHandball.com. For Dave Fink, Jeff Castor, my name is Dave Vincent. We'll be back in just a few. You stay